Hello you lovely lot, my name is Max, welcome back to my YouTube channel and another Nottingham Forest video. Yes, we are back with some more tactics and transfers, today talking about a rumoured move for Huddersfield left wing back Harry Toffolo. The 26-year-old is valued at around £2.5 million according to Transfermarkt, and according to multiple reports in the press at the moment, Nottingham Forest are raiding a bid for his services in the Premier League next season. As always, we will be discussing his background, his role in Carlos Caperon's system in the Championship this season in which they reached the playoff final, and of course how he'll fit in for Steve Cooper in Nottingham Forest's new look Premier League side. So of course, before we get into that, don't forget to drop a like on this video and subscribe to the channel. We are getting very close to 1,000 subscribers. I can't thank you all enough for helping me reach nearly this very big milestone, and of course we will be doing something to celebrate it, so let me know what you'd like to see in the comment section down below in this video. And with that being said, let's start talking about Harry Toffolo and how he will fit Nottingham Forest. Harry Toffolo was born in Welwyn Garden City in 1995 and grew up in the rural Hertfordshire town of Watton at Stone. At the age of 13, he would link up with the under-14 side of Norwich City, spending around half a decade learning his craft with the Canaries, which would include an FA Youth Cup victory against Chelsea in 2013, which would be quickly followed by him signing his first professional contract with Norwich City. Following this, Toffolo would spend 4 years on loan with 5 different clubs, including Swindon, Rotherham, Peterborough, Scunthorpe and Doncaster, before joining recent returnees to the Football League Lincoln City and helping them to the promotion to League One. And he would be a vital cog in the machine for the Imps during his first season, playing every single one of their games, scoring 3 goals in the process, and as I mentioned earlier, getting promoted to League One in the process, where he would continue to go from strength to strength, earning a move to Huddersfield Town in the January window of 2020, putting a pen to paper on a 2.5-year deal. And it is actually worth noting that 2.5-year deal, that does mean he is now going into the final year of his contract, hence why his transfer valuation and a potential fee for the left back won't be as high as potentially expected for a player of his quality. So just worth noting that there. Now of course, if you're a fan of the Championship, you will know his biggest strengths are going forward, scoring 6 goals and registering 8 assists in the Championship for Huddersfield last season, good enough for 2nd and 3rd best in the squad respectively. And for wing backs in the Championship last season, he ranked in the top 15% for offensive duel completion rate and in the top half for crosses completed. In fact, this crossing ability will prove to be a huge asset should he join Nottingham Forest in the summer. If inserted into the Nottingham Forest squad last season, he would have completed the 2nd most crosses per game in the squad, with only James Garner having completed more. And of course, with a move for the United loanee looking less and less likely, day by day looking less likely he's going to be joining the club in the summer, having someone who is a better outlet from crosses in the team will be hugely important. Defensively, I do have a couple of questions around Toffolo. He does only complete around 2 tackles and interceptions per 90 minutes, which is an absolute pittance compared to some fullbacks in the league, although he is only dribbled past once every 3 games, which isn't too bad. It's also worth noting that his defensive duel success rate is also still pretty high. He ranks in the top 25% of players in his position in the league for completion rate of his defensive duels, which is pretty good. I mean, it would suggest maybe because he's not actually attempting that many, he usually gets it right more often than not, but I would suggest it's probably a sign he's a fairly efficient defender, and when called upon, he usually gets the job done. So overall, Toffolo looks like a pretty decent play, profiles well in terms of his attack, and wouldn't cost too much due to him going into the final year of his contract. However, at 26, you can't see there being too much room left for him to improve as a player, and his lack of defensive abilities or lack of defensive activity is a slight concern, especially moving into the Premier League where we are going to get dominated in some games. With that being said though, let's start talking about how he was deployed in this Huddersfield Town team last season. So last season, Huddersfield predominantly played a 3 at the back shape, not too dissimilar to Nottingham Forest, which included a midfield 4 and a front 3, which was pretty flexible in its rotations. And as you can see here, I've got them in the blue on the tactics board, with our man Harry Toffolo playing out there on the left-hand side. Huddersfield were one of the most effective counter-attacking units in the Championship last season as we moved them back here into a defensive structure. They were very good at winning the ball back in their defensive third, say from the midfield here, and springing quick counter-attacks through the width in their team, and this was predominantly through their left wing back Harry Toffolo and their right sided attacker Sorba Thomas. They were the main wide outlets for the team, looking to peel them forward on the counter attack. Now specifically in the playoff final, they did tend to struggle to get the ball out from the right hand side. It was Naby Sarr playing on the right hand side, and you did notice with Nottingham Forest that we were pressing over onto that side and kind of forcing the ball onto that side of the pitch. So when they were effectively able to get it onto the left-hand side, it did leave them with a little bit of space with Levi Colwell and Harry Toffolo progressing down the left-hand side. And I would argue this was definitely the strongest area or side of their game. Harry Toffolo much more technically sound, receiving the ball, and also very good at receiving the ball over the top than maybe Pippa here on the right-hand side, and Levi Colwell much the same to Naby Sarr on the right-hand side as well. And of course, being able to receive the ball either into feet here, create 1-2s maybe, getting high and wide into these aggressive positions to receive the ball to feet, or either through making good runs. That was the best outlet is what I'm trying to say for Huddersfield, getting out from the back. So as you can see, I've moved Huddersfield into more of an attacking phase as if they're transitioning forward, and you'll notice that Harry Toffolo is usually the man occupying the highest and widest left position on this side of the pitch. He's the guy receiving the ball pretty high and wide on this side of the pitch. Pippa a little bit more reserved on this side, obviously because Sorba Thomas is the man peeling wide here to get crosses into the box. And where Toffolo really excels is getting the ball into the box. Predominantly last season, Danny Ward was the number 9 for Huddersfield Town, a really good player in the air, really good at getting knockdowns and really good at receiving the ball into feet. And you would notice often that Harry Toffolo would either fizz these balls into the edge of the box for Danny Ward to finish off here. He was also really good at getting these sort of whip balls into maybe the back post for a knockback or for a straight shot from the attacker. He's a fantastic crosser of the ball is what I'm trying to say. And we got Sorba Thomas on the right hand side, who's also really good from wide positions to get the ball into the box. Having someone who complements him just as well on the left, really important asset to have there for Huddersfield. So I can definitely see Harry Toffolo lining up in that left wing back position for Nottingham Forest next season. He's a direct, robust and good technician on the ball who can get the ball into the box pretty effectively, either through looped crosses in the more traditional way or through driven low crosses, which is something he really excels at. The kind of forwards we also have in the team, I can also see him really benefiting from this. However, I would still probably look at bringing in another left wing back in the summer. Maybe someone a bit younger with a bit of a higher ceiling than Toffolo, someone who can learn from his years and years of experience of plying his trade in that position, but then can eventually usurp him in the next couple of years as he runs his contract down. For me personally, someone like Josh Doig, I think he plays for Hibernian, would be a really good option for this position. That being said, I really like this deal. Toffolo has a lot to offer this Nottingham Forest squad, and although he's 26, he certainly isn't too old for him to come into this squad and make a really good improvement for that left wing back position. Honestly, anyone other than Jack Holback playing there next season would be fantastic. He's got some great experience there as well, and heading into the final year of his deal, it's obviously not going to be too high of a fee, and I would say anything in the region of 2.5 to 5 million is pretty low risk for someone in his position. Of course, though, as always, let me know in that comment section down below what you think of Harry Toffolo and his prospective signing for Nottingham Forest. As I mentioned in the intro, it's pretty heavily rumoured that we're putting a bid in the next few days, if we haven't already, by the time you're seeing this, for his services. And like I said, I think he would be an excellent pickup, a really good option on that left wing back spot. But I wouldn't necessarily have him as our only option. I'd definitely look at bringing someone in as a sort of alternative to him in this summer window. And whilst you're down there, drop a like on this video, subscribe to the channel, turn on that notification bell, and please, please, please help me reach 1,000 subscribers. I'll be very, very appreciative of that. With that being said though, thank you so much for watching, Reds. I will catch you later.